Hello guys, welcome back to the MiniFez channel. I'm joined here by Tom, who got second at the OTS Championship with Dragon Link.
Yes.
The best deck, baby.
So we'll say Dragon Link. I will admit we'll say this is more of a control variant, but we'll talk about it as we go through this. So
Any shout-outs?
we'll give a shout out to all 14, obviously, played here at the event. It's where it comes second. We've got that Euros invite now. And I'll also give a shout out to Dom Swift, a personal friend of mine. He is the good buddy, and if it wasn't for him, I would not have the list as it was today, and how comfortable I've been with it.
Okay, great.
Speaking of which, we'll get into this.
Let's go.
So we love the Bystial, so we'll go over them first. Triple Lubellion, you need that consistency when you're playing through this. Great opening it going first. If you lose the die roll, it's not as great going second, but we then supplement this by playing 3 Saranir to make sure we can load up our graveyard. 2 Drua's Worm because it's a very highly interactive card. I would sometimes consider 3, but for how today's gone, I feel 2 was perfect. 1 Magnum Up because we can't play any more. He is just the best boy in general. And then Baldrake because Baldrake is another good boy. Tributing other light and darks to get rid of awkward extra deck monsters is good, especially after learning that I can also use it on monsters that are special summoned from the graveyard. It checks for card types, not where it was summoned. So the Bystial engine is fun, but we don't have this very strong engine now because I think the black metal line is extremely powerful. We are now no longer ending on seals. We are going through seals and adding the Red Eyes Black Full Metal now, which allows us to instantly shuffle itself back, setting for trap. So we go 1 card combo to make a bounce into a Omni Negate with burn potential. And you can't play Red Eyes without Darkness Metal Dragon. He is too good.
Indeed.
And then we'll go straight over into the 3rd supplementary engine. It's not as full, but we are playing 2 Starliege Safers. This deck its grind game potential is very good for it, and having the access of Safer searching into any of my combo lines is good. We have the targets of sending a Bystial to add another Bystial, or we can send itself to add each of the baby dragons. Chaos Dragons are good. Again, this is just 1 card combos that allow us to make seals. The deck's really low ceiling, but it pushes through with just interruption and disruption through both players' turns and recurring hand management. And then to finish off the Chaos line, we have Chaos Emperor, the Dragon of Armageddon. This helps for when you are basically in your grind game. You are able to recur banished cards a lot easier, and the issue is here with this card, the paying on 1,000 feels like a problem when you're going into time or you're in your 3rd game as a general. However, thanks to calling back to our favourite new boy, Black Full Metal, anytime we have our opponent activating a card, this is an Omni Negate that burns, so we don't have to worry about life points as much.
Yep.
Now we're going to move on to the generic non-engine stuff. We're playing 3 Ash because it is a good hand trap, and we are playing 3 Nibiru because it is also a good hand trap. I managed to resolve this in round 1 in a spectacular fashion, leaving me to play a Nibiru war with my opponent who was playing Centurion. It was very much fun. Ironically, Ash did not actually come up as much as I'd like to today. I've always played it at 2 with the fire format being as strong as it is, but we will say it works, it's there, and if you have it, you might as well. Finishing off the non-engine specifically, this is stuff that doesn't start any combos. We're playing Darkened Evaporation Dragon. As you'll see, our extra deck allows for this to be made pretty useful, but to simply pop a card is also very useful. And then to finish off our fusion summoning boys, we have Fallen of Albaz because there is nothing more needed to be said.
Interesting, yeah.
Moving on now to spells and traps. So the spell line is very small, so we'll start with the non-engine ones as it is what made it very dominant. So we played 2 Thrusts, 1 Talent, and 1 Call By. I will say immediately now, main decking Thrust was a very good call for today. I have resolved it at least every single round, and if it hasn't resolved, it has been detrimental because it is forcing a negate. The amount of times I've also opened Talent and Thrust in the same opening hand and activating and resolving both of them, it's just too good.
Very good.
It is very good indeed. And then as for engine spells, we do play 1 copy of Dragon's Ravine because this is a dragon deck. We play 1 Branded Regain because it's Bystials. There is no reason not to. And then to help actually get our combo started, we play 1 for 1 and Chaos Space. These cards can also be searched by Thrust, and that has saved my life because essentially this is your 4th copy of Black Metal, which then makes Thrust your 5th and 6th. This is your 3rd copy of any of the Chaos Dragons, but Safer is your 1st and 2nd copy. So we're playing 3 essentially.
Yeah.
And then finally the traps. Obviously, we're playing the control variant, and Beast is very good. I have frequently sided this out going second. I did decide in one match to keep it in, and ironically, this does help. You don't get your recursion plays going if you activate and go for Beast first, but the amount of times I had Sarania send to send regain and then Lubellion place Beast up so I can have the full control board it makes it worth it, simply. Without it, I don't think this deck would have as much impact. The back row is the main star, really. Speaking of back row cards, we also have Max Metal Morph. We can't play Black Full Metal without it. This card is amazing as long as it doesn't get Ash Blossomed or Ghost Spelled, because I got hit with both of those today on this. And then to finish out our deck, it is 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. So our main deck list comes out to 42 cards. I would not change the numbers. I feel very comfortable about that. And now we're going to move into the extra deck. So we'll start with the most important card, Double Seals. Yep. There's no reason not to run 2 of this. Admittedly, I wanted to play 1 and potentially play something like an Underworld Goddess or a Unicorn. But at 2 in the morning, I decided that Kashtira existed still, and I became scared of Unicorn. Yes, I really wish to give a more in-depth reason on to why I'm playing 2, but no, I'm scared of Unicorn. That's quite literally it. I've seen a lot of Cash recently. Striker Dragon to help us get into our plays and going into Seals. We can't really do it without it. We have Romulus, obviously, to search out Dragon's Ravine. We then play IP, SP, and Dark to finish out the Link 2s. This Dark has been insanely good today. I did not summon IP at all. Every opportunity I had for IP, I would much rather play Striker into SP or going Dark, take an opponent's monster from the grave to then go into SP. It's weird, but I would also still keep the IP. It's relevant, but I'm currently questioning it. And then to finalize, we do play Access Code because this helps us just go for game in certain situations. Yep. Moving on, we now have the fusions because yes, that's what we like to do with this deck. So we play Borreload Furious. I summoned this only once today, but I would not take it out at any point. It's worth having. Just the simple effect to pop a card you control and a monster you control and a card your opponent controls is good. I believe in my last round against Pearly, I summoned this and then used its effect to target my own Druid's Worm and my opponent's continuous spell on their activated effect. Which essentially just cleared the entire board for me, and then I just proceeded to push through for game after that. Albion and Mirror Jade, because Albaz exists. There's no reason not to. Albion sending from Mirror Jade effect is also good because you can set Branded Beast or add Regain to hand if you don't have your play for it. And a non-targeting banish is always appreciated. And then to finish out our fusions, we have Light and Darkness Dragon Lord. I absolutely love this card, even though I did not summon it today. I refuse to take it out. It is the thesis of the deck, and if you don't access the Metal Morph line and have Dark End Evaporation, this becomes free instant Omni Negates. This will push through your opponent's hand unless they do have something like Imperm, because an effect to activate Omni Negate, Mandatory, Chain Imperm, I lose the other 2 negates. But every time it leaves, it floats into another dragon, and things like that are good. And then finalizing the extra deck, we play 1 copy of Heretic Dragonator for consistency. We have enough Bystials to make it with ease. Hope Harbinger, because we play enough level 8 targets, and I'm also scared of Tempai. And then finally, Chaos Angel, because we can make this thanks to Seifert and any Bystial, and this is good board clearing, it's good presence, and beyond that, I don't really see people outing it often enough. That covers the main and the extra, and now side deck. Obviously, side deck is one of those situations where people can take it apart and decide what they want for each event, but we'll go through what I got. So we played 1 Skill Drain, 1 Evenly Matched, and 2 Dimensional Barrier. I wanted to play 3, but I also felt having an Evenly would also help. I'm not too fussed about making immediate damage, so having a board breaker that can be searched off of Thrust or set from Thrust is very good, and the same applies for D-Barrier. This card was very good against round 1 Centurion. For spells, we play 1 Ultimate Slayer, 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, 2 copies of Cosmic Cyclone, and 2 copies of Lightning Storm. We're very good standard cards. Breakers, again a breaker. Ultimate Slayer came up. Unfortunately, I thought I had a good play, assuming I would Ultimate Slayer, return my opponent's IP Masquerena to the extra deck, and then I wanted to resolve Thrust. until I realised that they weren't going to chain IP as they couldn't. So I simply removed their board and passed, but we still won that game. It's all good. And then finally for the monsters, we'll go free draw. I don't own Fuaros, unfortunately, so I believe this is the card I have to play in response, because if my opponent's drawing too many, I don't like that. A third copy of Druid's Worm for any matchup where it's actually viable. Having free 1/1, it becomes more viable. And then in a matchup where we can afford to play slowly, we play Kawaki Meridrago. This is a card I love. It doesn't mesh well with the deck, obviously, because you are locking yourself out of light and darks, but if this somehow lives through into your opponent's turn after you summon it off seals, you quite literally tribute it to normal summon a Bystial instead. And that clears your own issue and you play fully. Overall, I would have no things I would change about the deck. I think the hand traps are... I think they can be moved around, but I'm content with the ones I played today. I considered Ghost Ogre, but it's one of those situational cards. I got hit with Shifter a few times. Ghost Ogre would have been dead. That being said, I think the deck itself, the engine is fine. I think it's consistent. I think it has great recursion. And overall, yeah, I can't really complain, especially with placements.
All right. Congrats on the top.
Thank you.
Make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.
No.